have some people that showed up. Okay, my name is Deborah Davis. I'm the CEO of Miracule Water, and this is my system here. And so our company has actually been around since 2006, but I haven't really marketed it that much. Kind of been on the down low a little bit. But it was invented by my late boyfriend named Ron Talmadge. And he unfortunately died in an accident in 2007, late 2007, so I've been keeping the company going as best as I can since then, but it was his design. So what it is that we are the only company that has a water filtration system that has something called a magnetic ormate trap on the inside of an RO system. So it is an RO design, reverse osmosis design, but we have magnets on the inside, magnetic technology, ceramic magnets, waterproof magnets, that are creating something called an ormate trap, monoatomic ormate trap. Well, so basically it's able to create like a magnetic field that's actually trapping the actually able to trap the trace minerals and the monoatomic elements, they're called, which are the good parts of the water that you actually don't want removed. You know, so because most of the other reverse osmosis systems strip the water of everything, and so we tried. You know, this is one of the reasons why he created this, is that the ormate stands for orbitally rearranged monoatomic elements, and they're minerals or elements, but they're smaller on the atomic level. So they weren't included in the periodic table and things like that. They weren't discovered yet. So, but they are essential elements in soil and water. So they're the platinum group metals, is what they are, and they have healing properties. So one of the interesting things that they're finding about the ormate elements is that they actually they're finding them in a lot of parts of the gray matter of your brain, which has to do with the consciousness. And so that's why I'm at the Conscious Life Expo. So it has a lot to do with raising your level of consciousness, the ormate elements. So they're actually like subtle energies, elements. That's kind of one of the reasons why they wanted, they kind of don't like that information out, but that is one of the things that it does. They find, so you find a lot of concentrations of these elements in volcanic areas and different areas, more so, some more areas more than others, but it's in all water, in all soil, in many parts of the soil. So they are gold, silver, copper, cobalt, nickel, and 6 platinum group elements is what they are. They're in thermoatomic forms of certain transition and noble metal elements. So they're just a little hard to explain, and so it's been hard to explain over the years, and a lot of people that have had different ormate products are, there's only a few of us left, but most reverse osmosis systems remove all of the minerals, and that has always been the downside of the reverse osmosis design. And so of course you have the good side that removes a lot of the contaminants, but you need the calcium and the magnesium minerals to balance the pH, which is important. Otherwise, the reverse osmosis water is usually pH balance of about 5.5. So we add magnesium to rebalance the water. It brings it up to about 7.5. And so we just improved on the whole design of an RO unit. The good quality. Let's see. Okay, then and the reverse osmosis, okay. So the beneficial parts of the RO system is that it does remove the heavy metals and pharmaceuticals and stuff, because it goes down to 0.001 micron, and that's, you need that for the removing the heavy metals. And so you're like your spring waters and stuff don't remove the heavy metals or the nitrates. You need that. You need the good filtration of the RO to remove all the contaminants. Like your basic charcoal filters, even in the Kangen system, all it comes with is just a charcoal filter, and that's not going to remove any of the contaminants. Your spring water doesn't remove the heavy metals. You know, you need our reverse osmosis membrane part to remove the heavy metals and the pharmaceuticals and things. So I tell people, you know, that really, you know, if you want to get a system, you should just focus on a good drinking system and maybe a shower system instead of like spending your money on a whole house system, because it's really what you want to focus on is your drinking water and your what you shower in with, because you know, we don't really need to worry about what we wash our clothes in too much. So then let's see. Okay. Then let's see. So yeah. So the reverse osmosis water is usually about 5.5 on the pH scale. Okay, anything under 7 is acidic. Okay, and so what happens with the reverse osmosis water is that, and you know, most people drink acidic water plus acidic beverages too, right? So then what happens over time that nobody's telling you is that you can develop osteoporosis from drinking this water, because what happens is your body starts to leach calcium from its own body to try to buffer that acidity. And so that's the downside of of continually drinking the reverse osmosis water. And so that's why we tried to create an option like this. And that's why it is a good idea to have alkaline water, but you have to have the right type of, you have to alkalize it in the right way. So we added magnesium, and we use it, and we were one of the first ones to add magnesium, because other people are using cheap forms of calcium, like you could buy like an RO unit, and they might give you an option to rebalance the pH with a separate cartridge, but it's usually calcium citrate, which is just a cheap form of calcium, and that can build up in your body, and it can build up in your arteries, and it can cause arterial plaque, and it's causing arteriosclerosis in people. So, you know, it's a cheap form of calcium citrate. Magnesium does not do that. It never builds up in the body. It's an essential mineral that's essential for over 300 functions in your body. It never builds up in toxicity. Your body just uses what it needs, it gets rid of the rest. So we use magnesium prill beads, they're called. We've used them for years now. Let's see. All right, so this Orme elements, I forgot to mention, they were first invented by this guy named David Hudson, who first coined this term. So you can look up his information, and he's the one who first developed that term to begin with. And he was, and Ron, my ex, had met him in Arizona, and he's the one who taught him this design, this trap, right from David Hudson. Okay, so then they are, so basically, you know, there's so much stuff in our water that they're not talking about that, you know, they're not even telling us. So, I mean, so you really do need a good system, plus they're finding out now that the bottled water is leaching all this stuff, right? Especially just the thin bottled waters are leaching all of these, they can leach chemicals, they can leach BPAs that can cause hormonal issues, and they can leach lead, mercurium, and cadmium. So the cheap bottled waters, and so you're better off just getting some kind of a good system that you trust, and because and they're absolutely not regulated in any way. The bottled water companies are not regulated by the EPA in any way, so you really do not know what you're getting. And, so let's see. Oh, yeah, and then the last thing I was gonna mention is that the ionizers, like he said, the Kangen water, a lot of people are just kind of, not happy with their Kangen water after they spent all this money anymore, because it's just one charcoal filter that it comes with. It doesn't really filter very well. It's not a filtration system, and then it's just a plate. It's a positive and negative plate, and so, which it does turn it into hydrogen, and it does bring the pH up, but you don't want super highly alkaline water for too long either, because then your body can go into too far alkaline, and that's not good. And then the other downside is that it breaks up, some of the minerals are actually positively charged and some of the minerals are negatively charged. And so the ionizer breaks it up, and so they weren't meant to be broken up like that, the minerals. And so it ends up causing, like you said, corrosion in the body and corrosion on that plate over time. And that is actually harmful over time. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, and then, so this is our system here, and we sell these for $1,000, and we have, and you just have to change out the filters. It's the same hookup as any other reverse osmosis system. It's just, we have custom things on the inside, and we also improve the filters. We have, the first one is just, because a lot of the RO systems don't have very good filters they come with. They're just real cheap filters. The first one removes chlorine and sediment. The second one removes the lead, the cryptosporidiums, the giardias, any of the parasites. The third one removes the VOCs, so the volatile organic compounds, which are, if you remember that train disaster that happened last year, there was something called vinyl dioxide that was released, and some other ethers and things like that. Those are VOCs. So those were released into the soil in Ohio at that time, and those are VOCs, and those would be released. Those would be removed in the third stage. But you would need a VOC filter to remove those. So, and then like I said, the fourth stage is the membrane along the top, and that's going to remove your heavy metals and your pharmaceuticals. And then the last stage on the left is your coconut carbon filter, and then we start introducing the magnesium into those stages. Okay, so thank you for coming.
Yay!